The whispers began the day she was born, a child darker than the midnight sky. In a village of golden skin, they called her Corset, invisible in the sunset, Dudu, a shadow among the living. But the darkness they feared held a secret they could never imagine. The power of the ancients had not been lost, it lived in her. And soon the world would know her name. In the vibrant village of Obodo, by a beautiful river in southeast Nigeria. The village was colorful and full of life, surrounded by hills and tall trees. A beautiful baby girl named Urunwa was born to Ujua and Ekene, but Urunwa's skin was different. It was as dark as the midnight sky, unlike the varying light-skinned shades of brown in her village. In the Obodo village, most people were light-skinned. Whispers of their Jewish ancestry were part of an undocumented history. The villagers gossiped, saying her skin didn't reflect the sun, but seemed to absorb it. Yet, her parents paid no mind to the chatter, raising her with boundless love. Her mother, who had the same rich ebony skin, would smile and say, "My child, you are kissed by the ancient stars themselves." Urunwa loved hearing her mother's words, but she often wondered what they really meant. Why was her skin so different? Why did it shine so brightly? One day, as Urunwa sat by the river, she looked at the sparkling water and remembered her mother's words. She realized that, like the stars in the night sky, her skin held a special light. From then on, Urunwa felt proud of her dark, beautiful skin. She knew the stars had gifted her with a light that could never be dimmed. With a smile, she walked through the village, knowing her inner light would always shine. But children can be cruel, and Urunwa learned this lesson early. At the village school, her classmates called her Dudu, claiming she disappeared when the sun set. During water collection at the community well, girls would whisper that the water grew darker after she touched it. Even the village elders would click their tongues in mock sympathy when she passed, saying, "Such a shame, such a beautiful face, hidden behind such darkness." Urunwa felt hurt by their words. Why couldn't they see the beauty her mother had spoken of? Why did they only see her skin as something strange or wrong? Urunwa's only solace was her grandmother, Nene, a mysterious woman who lived at the edge of the forest and a compound decorated with strange symbols and dried herbs hanging from the rafters. Unlike others, Ane celebrated Urunwa's darkness. "Your skin," she would say, while grinding herbs in her ancient mortar, "is not a curse but a blessing waiting to be discovered. The deepest earth holds the most precious gems." One evening, as Urunwa helped her grandmother prepare traditional medicines, she noticed how the herbs seemed to respond differently to her touch. Where others had to grind for hours, the leaves would yield their essence to her almost immediately. Nene watched with knowing eyes but said nothing, waiting for her granddaughter to discover her power. Years passed, and Urunwa grew into a young woman. Her beauty was undeniable, with a face as radiant as the moon and a smile that could brighten any room. But despite her beauty, the prejudices of society still clouded her world. The people in her village couldn't see beyond her dark skin, and Urunwa felt the weight of their words in her heart. As she got older, Urunwa faced another challenge: finding a suitor. Many young men in the village were drawn to her outer beauty at first, but when they saw her skin, they turned away. Some whispered that they didn't want to marry someone so dark, and others avoided her altogether. Urunwa's heart ached with each rejection, and though she kept her chin high, the pain of being overlooked settled deep within her bones. After finishing school, Urunwa decided to apprentice with her grandmother, learning the ancient arts of healing and herbalism. Her grandmother was a wise woman, known throughout the village for her knowledge of plants that could heal both the body and the spirit. Urunwa found peace in the quiet moments spent gathering herbs and making potions, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she was still invisible to the world. One day, as she walked along the river, Urunwa realized something. The river, though dark and deep, was full of life. Fish, birds, and the plants thrived there. Like the river, she was full of life and strength, even if others didn't see it. With newfound courage, Urunwa decided that her worth wasn't defined by others. Her beauty wasn't just in her skin, but in her spirit, her talents, and her heart. And one day, the right person would see that. One dark night, under a new moon, that everything changed. Urunwa was collecting night-blooming herbs in the forest when she noticed something extraordinary. Her skin seemed emanate a subtle golden glow. The darker the night grew, the more pronounced the phenomenon became. Rushing back to her grandmother's compound, she found Nene waiting as if she had expected this moment all along. Finally, the old woman said, her eyes twinkling, "Your inheritance reveals itself." That night, On shared a secret passed down through generations of their family line. Their dark skin, she explained, possessed the unique ability to absorb and transform energy from the natural world. This gift had once made their ancestors powerful healers and spiritual leaders, but fear and jealousy had driven them into hiding, forcing them to suppress their abilities. But times are changing, Nene declared. The world needs healing more than ever, and your gift has chosen to manifest now for a reason. Under her grandmother's guidance, Urunwa learned to harness her gift. She discovered that her skin could absorb the therapeutic properties of herbs through mere touch, transforming them into more potent remedies. When she worked with traditional medicines, her hands would emit a subtle golden glow, infusing the treatments with extraordinary healing properties. Word of her abilities began to spread, first as whispers among the village women, then as stories that traveled to neighboring communities. People who had once shunned her started appearing at her door, seeking healing for ailments that conventional medicine couldn't cure. As Urunwa's skills as a healer grew, so did her reputation. People from neighboring villages came to seek her help, and her healing touch became famous. She was no longer just the quiet girl with dark skin. She was a respected healer, known for her wisdom and kindness. But success bred jealousy. Some accused her of witchcraft, while others tried to steal her secrets. One particular group of local herbalists, threatened by her growing influence, plotted to expose her as a fraud. They arranged a public challenge to expose her as a fraud. They would bring their most difficult cases, those that no one had been able to heal, to be treated in front of the entire village. It was a test designed to make Urunwa fail. The day of the challenge arrived with the weight of storm clouds. The herbalists brought forward 3 cases: a child with a mysterious wasting disease, an elder with failing sight, and a young man paralyzed by a snake bite. The whole village gathered to witness either Urunwa's triumph or her humiliation. As she approached each patient, Urunwa felt a new power stirring within her. Her skin began to glow more brightly than ever before, and the gathered crowd gasped in wonder. She worked with a certainty that came from somewhere beyond herself, her hands moving with purpose as they emanated a golden light that seemed to sink into the patients' bodies. One by one, the miraculous transformations occurred. The child's sunken eyes brightened with renewed vitality. The elder blinked in wonder at the return of his vision, and the young man's paralyzed limbs began to twitch with life. The herbalists who had sought to destroy her reputation fell to their knees, begging to learn from her. But Urunwa had learned wisdom along with her power. Instead of rejecting them as they had once rejected her, she saw an opportunity for healing of a different kind. She established a school of natural medicine, Urunwa Herbals, where she taught not only the practical skills of healing, but also the deeper lessons of acceptance and understanding. As her reputation grew, so did her wealth. International pharmaceutical companies sought her knowledge, offering branding contracts worth millions. However, Urunwa remembered her grandmother's teachings about the responsibility that came with their gift. She used her newfound wealth to establish clinics in underserved communities all over the country. These were places where people could receive medical care and healing, no matter their background or skin color. She also set up programs to train other young girls, especially those with dark skin tone like hers, in the art of herbalism and healing. One hot afternoon, a man named Muna walked into Urunwa's clinic, his face pale and tired. He had been suffering from a rare and incurable blood condition for years. The doctors had given up on him, telling him that there was nothing more they could do. His body was weak, and his spirit was even weaker. Muna had heard stories of Urunwa's healing powers and had come to see if there was any hope left for him. Urunwa greeted him with a calm, reassuring smile. Her deep eyes held wisdom and kindness, and she could see the pain in his eyes. She listened as he explained his condition, his history with doctors, and his desperation. Unlike the others, Urunwa wasn't quick to offer false hope. Instead, she took a moment to think carefully. "My gift, Muna, is not about curing everything right away," she said gently. "It's about finding balance and harmony in the body, and over time, healing can occur." She went on to explain that she had been studying rare herbs and natural remedies passed down from her grandmother. While she didn't have a magical cure, she had discovered a mixture of herbs that could help manage his condition. It wouldn't make him well instantly, but it could improve his quality of life and help him live longer with less pain. Muna was skeptical, but also desperate. He agreed to try Urunwa's treatment, trusting her wisdom. Days turned into weeks, and slowly he started to feel better. The pain in his body began to lessen and his energy returned. He continued his visits to Urunwa's clinic, following her instructions with care. As the months passed, Muna's health improved significantly. He could not believe how well he was doing, and he became a firm believer in her methods. Over the months, they worked together. Muna and Urunwa spent countless hours talking about life, healing, and their dreams for the future. One afternoon, as they sat over tea in their clinic, Muna couldn't help but admire Urunwa's dedication. "You've built all this from nothing," Muna said, his voice full of admiration. "Your heart is clearly in the right place, but I can't help noticing how much you put into the community, sometimes at the cost of your own financial stability." Urunwa smiled softly, stirring her a cold zobo drink, a dried hibiscus petals beverage, and a mix of spices. It's true. I want to help as many people as I can, but it's not always easy. Sometimes I wonder if I'm making the right financial choices. I could expand more, but I don't want to lose sight of the values that got me here. Muna nodded, his mind already working. I've been thinking about that too. You have so much potential, Urunwa. What if I helped you manage the business side? I could streamline the operation, set up better systems for distributing medicines, and make sure the finances are in order. We can grow without compromising your integrity. Ronwa raised an eyebrow. You do that? Help me balance my dream and the business side of things? Muna smiled confidently. I'm an accountant, but I don't want to just make money. I want to see your vision succeed while keeping it true to your purpose. She thought about it for a moment, then nodded. All right, let's do it. I could use someone with your skills. Over time, their partnership flourished. Muna worked closely with Urunwa, helping to put efficient systems in place. He taught her more about budgeting and managing costs, all while ensuring that the focus stayed on helping people. One evening, as they worked late, Urunwa leaned back in her chair and said, I never imagined we'd be able to make things run this smoothly. You've brought so much order to my chaos, Muna. Muna chuckled, glancing at her with affection. It's your vision, Urunwa. I'm just helping it take shape. But your heart, your compassion, is what makes all of this so special. Their professional bond quickly grew into something more. Muna admired Urunwa's kindness, and she deeply respected his wisdom and determination. As the days passed, they realized that they made a perfect team. Her healing touch and his business sense blending seamlessly. One evening, as they walked along the riverbank, Muna turned to Urunwa. I think we've built something amazing together, not just in business, but in life. Urunwa smiled, her heart full. I couldn't agree more. And from that moment, they both knew they had found something even more precious than their work. Love, built on trust, respect, and a shared dream for the future. Years later, after many shared successes, Muna proposed to Urunwa. They got married in a beautiful ceremony, surrounded by their friends, family, and the people they had helped over the years. Together, they built a family of their own, raising children who inherited her beautiful dark skin tone. They would one day carry on their legacy of love, healing, and compassion. Her eldest daughter constantly tells Urunwa, her mother, I am going to be a stunning gazelle on the runway, moving gracefully and confidently, just like the top models I admire. Urunwa and Muna journey wasn't just about health or business. It was about two people coming together to make the world a better place, showing that love and partnership could heal not only the body, but the soul as well. Years later, when asked about her success during interviews on social media, Urunwa would smile and say, my dark skin tone wasn't a curse to be broken, but a gift waiting to be understood. Every shadow I faced helped me recognize the light within. Urunwa's story became a tale of transformation and triumph, told through stories across the country. Mothers would remind their dark-skinned daughters, remember Urunwa, whose blackness turned to gold. Your difference is not your weakness. It's your power waiting to be discovered. Urunwa's grandmother, Nene, lived to see her granddaughter's triumph. On her deathbed, she whispered a final secret. The true magic was never in your skin, but in your ability to turn rejection into purpose and pain into power. That is the real gold you found. Today, in that same village nestled between rivers, a golden glow shines from building where Grunwa Ebo School stands. Young apprentices of all skin tones learn the ancient arts, but those with the darkest skin tone are said to possess the most powerful healing magic. This modern folktale teaches that our perceived flaws often hide our greatest gifts. Urunwa's legacy is a beacon of hope, showing that beauty and strength come in all shades, and sometimes the darkest night reveals the brightest light. Once mocked as Dudu, her legacy now turns that word into one of reverence. Urunwa proved that the dark color don't just absorb light, they can transform it into something precious. Her story lives on in every child who learns to see their differences as gifts, not burdens. And in the end, those who rejected her could only watch in awe as the girl they once mocked transformed the world, turning prejudice into power and darkness into gold. Share your thoughts and lessons from this story in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you have enjoyed this story and want to uncover more lessons, mysteries, and financial insights, don't stop here. Click on our other videos to dive into more captivating tales and timeless wisdom from across Africa. There's so much more to explore. Don't miss out. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure.